connection random. So both players are playing random. Let's go. Double random back. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Fear and Faith, we have the American random player, typically Protoss, but rolling Zerg, the Brood War Zerg player. It is PiLiPiLi. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the purple Protoss player, the Peruvian Protoss, representing Root Gaming. It is CatZ. So we have CatZ here as the SC2 Protoss, we have PiLiPiLi as the Brood War Zerg. Again, both players played random, so they are still figuring out what exactly is going on and where they are. And welcome one and all to Fear and Faith. I have no idea what I'm stepping into. This does aesthetically look like an older map, I'll be honest. It does look like an older map, but it's very large actually. It's huge. Jesus. Oh, that's why. 4-player. Okay. 4-player spawn map. That explains it. I was like, mate, this map is massive. So 4-player spawn map. So we're still looking for each other as well. We have Overlord towards bottom left. We have Probe Scout towards bottom left as well. Oh my, there's tubes. Wait, what? There's like a monorail like skyline. What's happening? We got some probe scouting tubes from base to base. From end to end. Oh my god, we have like a whole train system. Let's go. Probe Scout comes in. CatZ finds him. Look, we have like connecting like monorail system, like connecting all the bases. That's crazy. That makes it so much easier to expand. Like you can very easily send a worker across and just take a corner base. Okay. Likewise, you have also connections here as well. From one end to the other. So we have a couple of connections. Yeah, here towards the top side, here towards the south, and here on the right hand side as well. Unfortunately, there's no train rail system in the center of the map, just around the edges. But that is crazy. Like, imagine worker rushing. imagine like spine rushing in a ZVZ where you pull the boys. But I mean you can't even do that because, again, as a reminder, it's 4-player spawn. So if you did try to worker rush on this map using the tunnel system, there's a good chance you don't make it to your opponent. Like, ay, that's crazy. Okay, let's go. This looks new, not old. Yes. Now that I see this looks like a new map. Or this, I say new map, I wouldn't be surprised when I say old map. This could even be like a map maker's delight map. If you recall, that was back in 2021, like 2020, 2021. For those who remember, Map Maker's Delights was kind of an initiative to kind of incentivize map makers to have like quirky ideas and quirky builds, and quirky like ideas come to fruition. Things like this. We saw like these like boost pads as well, and like all these other little quirks. Like we saw there were like vents as we're rushing, by the way, and CatZ is in trouble. The pylon's gonna go down. Lings, they do flood in. They're gonna surround, and this is looking dire here already. The first adept does fall. Probes are gonna be picked off one after the other. There's nothing left to defend. There's one adept that's halfway done. We're going for the pylons. We're going for the kill. And before we can really embrace this map, the game may just be over. The Stargate is depowered. The second pylon under fire. Boys, they have to be pulled. But this is a late reaction from CatZ. Yeah, very late reaction. Everything gets depowered. And as much as this map was interesting, we may not be here for long. But that's going to be 10 probe kills. Ay. Yeah, 10 workers go down, getting up to 11. And this is game ending damage at this point. At this point, this is already game ending. Back at home, PiLiPiLi is getting into his own Hydra tech. Likewise, no layer yet, just embracing Ling Hydra for the time being. Lings are running out, but the damage has been done. But yeah, Map Maker's Delight, it was just, yeah, an initiative for like these quirky ideas and the quirky builds. I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of those maps, but it's been a long time. Again, like 2020, 2021, 2022-ish era of StarCraft. Hold on. Mapper's Delight, Liquipedia. This is Fear and Faith. Mapper's Delight. Let's have a look. From here, CatZ is going to try to recover. Does open up, of course, with the Stargate. The Oracle does finally come out. Let's have a look here. There were 2020. There were 5 Mappers Delights. So far, we do have spore colonies here in between the bases or in the mineral lines. Hydras have mass as well. Likewise, I believe the lair is done. Ooh, still no lair, so still hatch based, but is working on Hydra speed. And so far, is zoning away that Oracle. 3 drone kills is a good start here for CatZ. Is a good start as he makes his way in between the bases. But I'm checking, so it wasn't a part of Mapper's Light 1. Let's see. It's called Fear and Faith. There's so many maps. Likewise, PiLiPiLi expanding on the right hand side as well. Fear and Faith. Okay, no, it wasn't a Mapper's Light map. Okay, never mind. So it might be a newer one, which I'm all for. You know, Hydras, they focus on the cannon, they catch out to all the Oracles. Oh, massive pickoffs. Oracles do go down. And CatZ going for a second Stargate into a Fleet Beacon into either a Tempest or Carrier Rush. There we go, Carrier Rush on the way. PiLiPiLi, he sees the first carrier. He knows what's going on. He knows what's happening. CatZ trying to build up, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Not like this. The Forge is going to fall. This carrier is just far too... It just won't finish in time. Boys are going to have to be pulled. Hydras, they can start to step in. Here we go. The boys are being pulled. They can get a full surround. Hydras, they hunt down the Stalker. It looks like this first carrier will pop, but here come the reinforcements. Here come even more Hydras. Nice kiting. So far, nice kiting. Oh, gets surrounded. Hydras get cleaned up. First carrier has arrived. PiLiPiLi, he is trickling in, but this should be enough to deal with all the interceptors at least. Yeah, there we go. Interceptors go down. 0 interceptors left. And this is the army. One carrier. One carrier is the army. You have a second carrier on the way in the main. Shield battery goes down. Going for the Stargate itself. Now, PiLiPiLi doesn't know that there's a second Stargate, but the reality is that there are enough Hydras that they will overwhelm 2 carriers. Like this, it's not going to be a problem. Not going to be an issue. And GG gets called. PiLiPiLi will take a lead in the series. Will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Does take a lead. And yeah, that was an interesting game. Now, like a really interesting map, and unfortunately, we didn't really get to experience too much of it. I would have loved to have seen more of Fear and Faith, so a little bit unfortunate there. Again, unfortunately, CatZ just didn't really have a defensive setup in time. We saw the initial Lings, and it wasn't even a Ling rush. Bear that in mind. It was a standard opener, by the way, standard opener out of PiLiPiLi. But CatZ, he was cutting corners, he was being greedy. A big part of that is probably because of the size of the map. The map is large, and it's a 4-player map as well. So CatZ, he was just too greedy. He was caught with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. The initial Ling aggression did, or Ling flood did basically end the game. Like it did set up PiLiPiLi for success, and now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. And once again, I'm going to be featuring some more unorthodox maps. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm excited. A little bit of faith overcome a lot of fear. Let's go. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Duckling, we have the orange Protoss player. We have the brutal Protoss, as this time he does roll Protoss with his random. The American Protoss, it is PiLiPiLi. we'll get into the map. And spawning in the on the right hand side here, rolling random, rolling his main race, SC2 Zerg, the Peruvian Zerg player representing Root Gaming. It is a CatZ. Let's go. Okay, where exactly are we? We have options for natural bases. We have, I believe, a pocket. Yes. Oh. Okay, so we have a pocket base here towards the south side with tumors that I believe are dying over time. So this area is going to be accessible around the 8-minute mark is when that will open up. Likewise, there's also this path here behind the main base. There's so much space here. So this is I should say this expansion looks like it's very vulnerable to drop play, very vulnerable to drops. So much more exposed than I'm used to seeing. Meanwhile, we do see CatZ expand here towards the top side. More giant tumors that are dying over time, also slowly expiring. We have a mineral field here on the right with destructible towers. I'm curious as to the purpose of this area. Like, there's not that many minerals, I don't think. Maybe it's equivalent to a base, but it's also destructible as well. So, interesting location. I'd love to hear the rationale as to what this area is for, specifically. Oh, as we just, never mind. We're just going for proxy hatch. Okay. Going for the proxy hatch. Now, this is not a rush, necessarily. I'm curious, because this is going to be a hatch, gas pool. So these are later spawning pools, later gases, later aggression out of CatZ. We see PiLiPiLi. What are we walling off? Wait. What is happening? Going for a forge cannon, sorry, gate cannon opener. Pulling a bit of a Yakuzaku here, walling off an area that does not need to be walled. Okay, I mean, I guess, sure. I mean, I guess he hides the forge so we can cannon rush. Okay, yeah, and he's cannon rushing. So we have proxy hatch on one side, we have cannon rush on the other. I guess that was the purpose of this, just to hide the cannon rush itself. Cannons are on the way, boys are being pulled, and the first cannon is going to be targeted. Lings are popping out. Looks like the first cannon will finish. Is that going to be enough though? It looks like it's not. Yeah, this is going to be dealt with. Yeah, the cannon rush will fail. The hatchery does finish across the map. The hatchery also goes down. So in a way, both players' aggression does kind of crumble, where the cannon rush fails on one end, likewise the hatchery fails on the other. At least we're able to make some lings. So we have some lings on the way, and they can maybe get a probe kill. But if PiLiPiLi is on top of this, he shouldn't really lose any. He shouldn't lose much, as lings are flying across the map. I would love to look at the center of the map right now, but I haven't even been able to. Boys are being pulled. Lings, they pull away. And CatZ, he does slip into the main base, going for the surround. Boys have to be pulled. Yeah, they're being pulled once again. Nice control here, but PiLiPiLi gets surrounded. The Dragoon is surrounded. Massive pickoff. Likewise, CatZ heads down to the low ground. Does head down. Dragoon is exposed. Oh, does move away. Zealots, they stride in. I love how the Zealots walk, always, like the Brood War Zealots. Ah, beautiful. As lings, they can maybe get a probe kill. They do deny some mining time, but for the most part, this is dealt with. And now, we can finally embrace the map. We can finally embrace the map. Okay, so outside of how quirky our bases are, outside of just that, what else do we have going on? Let's pan over. Let us pan over here. We do have Xel'Nagas towards the top side. Interesting. So we have the Xel'Nagas towards the top. No Xel'Nagas towards the south side. Bear that in mind. The towers, or I should say the tumors, are still standing strong for the time being. Still for another 4 minutes. Slow zone in the center of the map. Interesting. Rocks as well. So it's not actually too easy to actually make our way through the center of the map. But this southern half does open up as the game does progress. Interesting. Is interesting. Looks like a bait base. Well, I mean, that wouldn't. I mean, that doesn't make any sense in my mind. But I am curious if because there are so many patches, I'm curious, like, additively, like, if there are as many minerals here as they are in a regular base. Like, that would be interesting. Like, if this was like an alternative. Like, this, if this is just as, you know, if there's as many resources here as there would be here, then this would make more sense, I guess. Otherwise, like, I'd be interested to know the purpose here. Like this wouldn't be here just to like bait someone to expand. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, curious. I'm curious. The base has a path behind the mineral line. Right here. You have to wear your pants on the train. Can't cut corners. True, true. Now it looks like a regular expansion. Again, just as I mentioned, just vulnerable to drop play, vulnerable to doom drops, if you will. More so than other expansions. Meanwhile, we do see PiLiPiLi going to be going into 2-base carrier. Let's go. Building up on carriers. Meanwhile, CatZ is going to be cutting workers early on. He does have a 3rd base, but no drones. No droning here, so CatZ is going for a 2-base all-in. He's massing up with Roach Ravager, and we'll see if he can break PiLiPiLi before the Sky Toss. Checking CatZ's vision, he actually hasn't seen much. He did see the Stargate, but that's all he saw, so he has very limited scouting information. We'll see if CatZ can pull this off. They're not walking, they're speed walking, they're power walking. It's beautiful. As yeah, again, CatZ is still all in, like he still has not droned whatsoever, so either he breaks PiLiPiLi or he dies trying, as he will be quickly outscaled if he doesn't deal crippling damage. Does make his way in, takes out the first Dragoon. There's only one carrier, sorry, there's 2 carriers. First Dragoon goes down, brings down one of the cannons. And he will eventually get into the mineral line, but the question becomes how many probe kills? How many workers are going to go down? As he is going to lose everything here eventually. Gets into the mineral line. PiLiPiLi does pull away in time. Very nice control, and losing 2 probes so far. This is not good enough. Only 2 workers. Getting up to 4, not bad. Getting up to 5. 5, now up to 6 probe kills, 7 even. We're getting there, getting up to 8. Oh, now the boys have to fight. Roaches, they just keep filing in. The DPS output here of these carries is just far too low. It takes too long. Takes too long. 17 probe kills, and this is quickly becoming game-ending damage. Whew. It took a while. It took a while to really get going. But again, you could see just how slowly the carriers would kill. They only have 4 interceptors, bear that in mind. The interceptor count is quite low. So limited DPS. And CatZ, he is pulling this off. Back at home, what do we see? Droning. Now CatZ, he's finally droning up. He's finally saturating his bases. We have the Spire on the way, getting into tunneling full of roaches. There's a 0 detection. And CatZ is looking to tie up the series. And GG gets called. There is nothing left, and CatZ ties it up. We have a back and forth. Let's go. GG, well played. You do have a back and forth here again. Unfortunately, when it comes to detection, there was 0 detection, so no way to deal with those roaches. And we saw it was actually quite close. PiLiPiLi, he was initially defending quite well, but the roaches eventually got out of hand. PiLiPiLi, he wasn't making any additional Dragoons. He didn't have any additional cannons in the main base. Just barely didn't have enough. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into game number 3. Map we're much more familiar with. Okay. Much more familiar with. We're going to be loading into Talisman. Talisman is a much more modern map, of course, used in some more regular tournaments as well. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Talisman, we have the orange Terran player, the Brood War Terran, for the first time here tonight. We're being forced into the Tide series. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is a PiLiPiLi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have someone going for the 12 pool. Oh my god. Going for the 12 pool, we have the Brood War Zerg player from Peru. It is CatZ. Here we go. So we do have the 12 pool on the way. And we'll see if it's going to be a 12 pool drone pool. He might just commit. Now, the scary thing about what CatZ is doing, remember, they're both playing random. CatZ does not know what he's up against. He's just now drone scouting. He's going to drone scout across the map. Lings will soon amass. And I do favor PiLiPiLi in this position, at least currently. We'll see how he's able to respond. SCVs, of course, are quite tanky. They can trade quite well. PiLiPiLi, he does move down here towards that. Oh, actually moving out to scouts. Does confirm the drone. He knows. PiLiPiLi, he is now aware. Lings are amassing. We'll see if CatZ does pull the boys. Now, because it's Brood War Terran, there's no wall. Remember, depots do not lift and land, right? They don't go up and down, so there won't be a full wall here on the high ground. I mean, we could if PiLiPiLi realizes what's going on, and the SCV scout will confirm the links. Yeah, he knows. He's now aware of the 12 pull. We have gases on the way. No expansion yet out of CatZ. He does not pull the boys. And back at home, yep, there's the full wall. So we do have a full wall of here from PiLiPiLi. This will keep him safe. It'll buy time. Marines are amassing. He's already got one. Bunkers on the way. And CatZ looks like he will get the SCV. Oh. Yeah, barely does get it. I mean, well, CatZ taking the net. Let's go. Does take the natural base of PiLiPiLi. Interesting. With this, he can try to contain. He can try. I mean, on the one hand, he can try to contain with spine crawlers with sunken colonies, but I don't want him to commit too hard because remember, PiLiPiLi, he can just expand here towards the left-hand side. He has an alternative natural base, so he can always expand elsewhere. Hatchery is done. We have a couple of drones on the way. We'll see if CatZ does attempt some sunken colonies.
Our SCVs are under attack.
CatZ going to be expanding towards his opponent. PiLiPiLi staying on one base. Going to be opening up tank. Hopefully he knows, there we go, to resource siege mode. PiLiPiLi, he's played Brood War before. He knows. Thank God. And it looks like CatZ, yeah, he's containing. And we have the sunken colonies on the way. Is somewhat saturating as well. Tanks, I believe they can get within range of the mineral line from the high ground. And maybe get within range of this first colony as well. We'll see. Depending on their positioning, of course. And of course, PiLiPiLi will need vision as well to actually be able to fire. As the tank is barely out of range of the expansion. Just barely. But again, here on the high ground, he can reach the mineral line. On the right-hand side. PiLiPiLi at any moment, he can afford the CC, just waiting for those minerals. Oh, going for the Wraith. Okay, okay. Interesting. Does go for the Wraith instead. Meanwhile, Lair on the way for CatZ. Based on this Lair first, this could be Muta play. We could be rushing into Mutas or trying to rush into Hive Tech, but there it is. Spire. It is going to be Muta. So Mutas for CatZ. The reason why we assumed it was Mutas is because you don't need a Lair for a Hydrotech or Lurker, or just Hydrotech, I should say. So Mutas are the go-to. PiLiPiLi breaks out. There's honestly not much to defend. And PiLiPiLi, he will shut this down. CatZ, he knows he cannot hold on. He evacuates. He gets the hell out of here. And the base will fall. CatZ, he pulls away. And he will lose a hatchery. He will lose 2 colonies, an overlord, and all these lings. As CatZ should cancel these lings. And hopefully he does. There we go. It does cancel. Thank God. PiLiPiLi can now expand. And the question becomes, can CatZ defend this expansion? Can he defend this base against the boys of me? Let's go. He pulls the boys. It's going to be a 1 base all in. Lings, they actually catch the tanks. Oh, they try to, but alas, the boys are here. And PiLiPiLi is not stopping. He's not stopping. He doesn't know which expansion CatZ went for. He could just kill this base, but PiLiPiLi goes straight down mid. The Lings, they catch one of the reinforcing tanks. Nice pickoff. So very nice counterattack here by CatZ. He's going to pick off whatever is left across the map. Back at home, there are 5 mutas on the way, and there's nothing to defend. There's workers, that's it. Especially with these wraiths, what are the mutas gonna do? They're gonna die. Spilly does move in. Tanks they deal with the initial expansion. Drones are getting caught out. Here come the mutas. First muta goes down. He gets one. He gets two. Two mutas fall. There's 3 mutas left. Down to 2. And soon to be down to 0. So mutas are being forced back. Oof. There we go. Every muta will fall. And with that, PiLiPiLi should be able to snowball out of control as we're down to what? 4 mutas. Down to 3. And the race on their own can clean this up. There we go, 2 mutas remaining. They do deal with the raids, but there are still marines left over. They catch another muta. Is there any mining across the map? Yeah, there is. So there's 1 SCV. Lings, they're going for the marines. Oh, if he can focus on the marines, then maybe he can win the game. The marines, the fire. He does get them. Yeah, he barely does get them. PiLiPiLi out of position. No shot. And CatZ with 3 mutas. Suddenly, he can win the game. I say he can. These buildings will eventually die. These buildings will starve out. We need to kill the gas geysers. We need to kill the gas geysers. Get the gases. No, he's going for the spire. This is not it. Oh, GG. He GG's out. I mean, there's still mining. There's still mining going on. There are marines on the way. Technically, hold on. Technically, CatZ, because those tanks were not killing the gas geysers, these gas geysers, they will not bleed out. So this was a mistake from PiLi. PiLi would eventually lose all these tanks. The question would have been, how many marines would he have built? Because he had 1 SCV mining, right? He had 1 SCV mining. If he was able to get a decent marine count out, then maybe he wins. But there was a chance there. There was unironically like a chance for CatZ, just because PiLi had lost everything and thrown everything away. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. PiLi takes the lead. Oh, my apologies. Okay. Stack of 1, Zerg buildings don't bleed out from no creep. Oh, there you go. There you go. So there was reason to focus down the spire. But yeah, the point still stands that PiLi definitely could have. I mean, sorry, that CatZ could have brought it back there. But it all comes down to how many marines, right? How many marines would PiLi have been able to crank out with that 1 SCV mining, right? That's what it comes down to, and that's a tricky one. Aye. GG, well played. To be fair, CatZ, he didn't know there was only 1 SCV mining. Like, he didn't know what the economy was looking like. So GG, that leads us into game number 4, and we'll see if we can go all the way to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. So jumping into game 4. And spawning in the left-hand side, on the left-hand side of a kill switch, we have our Peruvian, typically Zerg player, but rolling random and landing on SC on Brood War Protoss. Okay, here we go. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is CatZ. And spawning in the right-hand side. Spawning on the right-hand side, we have his opponent. We have the American, now SC2 Terran player. Okay, we're good. It is PiLiPiLi. I saw the SCV move towards the top side and I was very confused, and I think PiLiPiLi also got confused as well. Does pull the SCV back, thankfully. And we're settling into Kill Switch. Kill Switch, of course, a map that we have featured many a time on this channel, especially when we were covering all of the TLMC20 maps. Has some unique features, of course. Is a very short rush distance map. Short rush distance by ground is very short. The forward base here is a little bit more exposed. We've seen many a player attempt and fail to defend that center base location. You can also mine through these minerals, knock down these rocks, gain access to the Cell Naga. You can expand elsewhere as well. We saw Shin mine through these minerals and expand towards the top side as a third base, which was crazy, but I guess viable. So there are other ways to approach this. But now that we're settling in. I'm going to be settling in. And we'll see if CatZ can bring it back. Hello. What's going on? Probe does dip in. Heading towards the main. Do have that CC on location from PiLiPiLi. So far, pretty standard opener, pretty standard setup. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild. Not yet. I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. We have a second, now a third Rax on the way. Okay, so it's going to be a 3 Rax stim timing out of PiLiPiLi. Very aggressive. And on a map as small as Kill Switch, it makes sense, to be honest. It does make a lot of sense. This is a little bit of an old school build here, but still very effective. So it is going to be 3 Rax stim. Meanwhile, CatZ back at home, opening up with a second gateway and still has yet to piece it all together. It's going to come down to CatZ scouting the build and slowing it down ahead of time with those Dragoons. So the pressure is now on CatZ as he is building up 2 Dragoons at a time. And I'm hoping that he's going to be proactive with this. Hoping that he's going to be aggressive. As here come those tech labs again, getting to stim and combat shields. This will hit like a truck. And CatZ, he needs to see it coming. But now it does move out across the map. And no bunker on the high ground, so a bit of a interesting, or I should say a bit of a greedier style here out of PiLiPiLi. No bunker means that the Dragoon can actually get some shots off. Dragoons can get some shots off even. As Marauder production has begun. Nice setup here by PiLiPiLi. Oh! Takes down the first Dragoon, at least attempts to. And will bleed out some Marines, and he does not get the Dragoon. Still rallying in though. Still not stopping. Can he get it? Up! Can he get the Dragoon? Not quite. Not quite. CatZ does pull away in time. And Pili, how many Marines does he bleed out? He bleeds out 2. 2 Marines so far. CatZ, he backs off. Behind this, we're waiting for our tech of choice. Oh, rushing into a third! Oh no. Oh no. He rushes into a third base. I'm very concerned. This does feel quite greedy here from CatZ. He's going for a third base, now into charge. This does mean that he has limited production, limited reinforcements, just now getting a third gateway. Marauders are revealed. We're waiting for stim. CatZ has to be very careful here. Again, once stim finishes PiLiPiLi, he will commit. He may even just pull the boys with this. CatZ pulls away. No shield batteries. Yeah, no shield batteries back at home. Pili moves out. And he is transitioning behind this, so he's going for the factory into starport. He does move out unscattered. And we'll see how many Dragoons he can lock down. He stims in. He gets 1. He's getting 1, 2, 3 Dragoons go down. Getting all 4. Getting up to 5. Boys are being pulled. And from here, CatZ, he will hold, but at a cost. At a cost of how many workers? Getting up to 10, 13, up to 14, up to 6, 17 probe kills. Ay, 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 getting every single probe. And again, CatZ, he will survive this, but he will lose 23 workers in the process. That is insane damage. Ay, ay, ay. And again, unfortunately, CatZ, he wasn't able to slow this down. He wasn't able to set up defensively with shield batteries. He just wasn't set up for this. He's down to 25. Down to 25 workers. He might have 3 bases, but he barely has an economy. Now going into Dark Templar, going into High Templar as well, into Storm. Meanwhile, PiLiPiLi, he has a safety turret. He's ready for the DTs. And CatZ, he has to get something done here. And again, he was greedy. I was hoping for a game 5 back. Hoping for a game 5. I mean, there's still potential. Technically, PiLiPiLi, if he overextends, if he does take a bad fight into Storm, like, there's definitely a way for CatZ to recover. True. Third CC's on the way for PiLiPiLi. And he's gearing up and getting ready for the second wave. But PiLiPiLi, at this point, I believe he's just waiting for his medevacs. Once the medevacs pop out, then he can push. He can push. CatZ still trying to recover. And he will have that storm. Zealot legs on the way. Scan reveals the storm. PiLiPiLi, he does throw down that Ghost Academy. And I did say that he was going to move out with these medevacs, but upon seeing those High Templar, he might wait until Ghost. We'll see. We'll see if he does push. And there we go, going for the drop. Does move out. As he moves out, CatZ moving in. Oh god. At least attempts to. This will contain PiLiPiLi. CatZ checking the third. Checking the expansions. Oh! CatZ, can he catch him? He can! Whew. Gets the volley off, doesn't quite get the medevac, but that is best case scenario for CatZ to catch out the drops. So that Templar does go down. PiLiPiLi likewise claiming his third base. Does land on location. CatZ is still attempting to recover, just now getting into upgrades into his own forges. +1 is on the way. PiLiPiLi still ahead economically. And now has those ghosts. Once again running into the Dragoons. Not again! Up! Oh. Yeah, medevacs are exposed, and oh my god, they barely don't go down. Jesus. But every time High Templar are exposed though. Yeah, storms are not going to come into play. 2 High Templar go down. Massive pickoffs, massive snipes. Storms are denied. There's how many High Templar left? 3. There's 3 left. There's 1 storm in the chamber here. Storm does well. Oh my god. The Bio Army crumbles. Massive storm. And with that 1 storm, here comes the second. Oh, it doesn't quite connect. So just 1 storm for CatZ. He's down to 0 High Templar. That was all he had. The 1 storm was good, but imagine if he had a second, a third storm. Alas, CatZ, he will lose everything. He almost recovered. He was almost there, but again, losing 20+ workers at the start of the game was just too much to recover from. And CatZ, he's down to 5 zealots. This is the army. This is CatZ's army here. He's got his 5 zealots, now to 6. PiLiPiLi moving in. The zealots, they do get caught out, and they're going to be shut down. They're going to be shut down here and now. He does break through that defensive line, pushing into the bases. Shield batteries on the way, but it's too little too late. Sorry, there's a cannons on the way even. Goes to overextend. They were looking, hunting for the High Templar. Alas, there are none. And the base will fall. And again, it was an intense back and forth. We had some crazy maps specifically. Like, I loved featuring some of these newer or some of these more quirky maps in the map. Oh, nice storm. Oh no! He stands. Oh, but Jesus Christ. He stands in the storms. Does deal some crazy damage. Another High Templar on the way. GG gets called, and PiLiPiLi, he will claim the series 3-1. We'll take down CatZ in the show match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. PiLiPiLi, he still got it, papi. He still got it. GG, well played. Great to see. And it looks like they did agree to play out all 5 games. Okay. So PiLiPiLi, he will claim the series, but they did agree to play out all of the games, and I'm excited because up next we're going to be featuring a StarCraft Evolution map, one that I haven't seen in SE2 yet, but I have watched back in the day in ASL and in other Brood War tournaments. Up next, Blue Storm. Let's go. Let us go. So we are jumping into game number 5. Oh my god, this brings back memories. For those that remember, Blue Storm, this was in the SSL map pool back in 2016. It was like either 2016 or 2017, and I'm sure it was probably featured even years before that. I'm sure it's an even older map, but that's when I was watching Brood War, back when SSL did begin. It was SSL Challenger, I believe. But yeah, Jesus, the memories, the memories. This is back when Wolf and Valdez they were casting. It was Wolf and Valdez that was on Sport TV. It's back on Sport TV. Back during the back when Remastered first came out. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the purple Zerg player, the SC2 Zerg from Land of Peru, representing Root Gaming. It is CatZ. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the SC2 Zerg. Oh, it's a ZVZ. Okay, let's go. Going for a pool first opener, we have PiLiPiLi. Without using the randoms, you don't quite have the right grasp of how to counter certain strategies. If you're referring to the previous game, I would say a lot of it just came down to scouting. Like CatZ, it didn't seem like he was fully aware of what was going on. If you remember, he didn't scout the main base. He did see all the bios, so he could have assumed it was at least a 2-1-1. True. But yeah, I would for the most part agree. I say for the most part just because I mean I feel like your response as a Brood War Protoss player would be similar to the SC2 Protoss, where your goal would be to be active with your goons on the map while you build up towards either Reaver play or shield batteries back at home with earlier charge. I would imagine Reavers probably come out in time to help be defensive against that. I think that does line up. Similar to Colossus builds in SC2. But alas, again, CatZ, I'm sure he's not too experienced with StarCraft Evolution. And again, CatZ has been out of the game for a long time. This is more of a fun show match, not a serious one. So when it comes to any kind of like balance concerns or any kind of like competitive play, I would throw that out the window here. This is more for fun. I mean, hey, we were featuring these crazy like 4-player spawn maps, like a little bit more of a chill show match. And here we go. Links are moving out. And again, like Blue Storm, I look forward to maybe seeing this in a future StarCraft Evolution League map pool. Like, it's the memories factor, the memories. For now, though, it might just be a short one. Lings, they do move out across the map. They chip away here at the natural. Base is under fire. Behind this, going for an earlier bailiness, so CatZ is going to be committing into Ling Bane aggression. PiLiPiLi looking to do the same. Let's go. If I remember correctly, they're meant to be like, is there not meant to be like, yeah, like this high ground up here? Yeah. That you can use to try to make your way into the main? God, it's been a long time. Been a long time. Boomer memories. I mean, it's not even that long ago, right? Like, again, 2016 was what? 9 years ago. Smurge. God, it's been that long. Since Remastered's been out. Aye. The memories. This is an awkward base. Okay. As PiLiPiLi does head towards his third. Likewise, where the Bailing's going to Roaches instead. Ooh, PiLiPiLi trying to rush into Roaches. This is a very greedy move here out of PiLiPiLi to skip Bailings to rush into Roaches on a map like this while also getting to a third base. This should be punished. PiLiPiLi, he should be punished here. CatZ moving in, flooding across the map. Likewise, PiLiPiLi trying to go for a counterattack, but Bailings are here, and PiLi, he cannot engage. But he can catch reinforcements. He can try to. PiLi moving in. Bailings, they get an okay connection, but not the best. Yeah, 3 Bailings go down. Out of 4 Bailings, no major connections. And PiLiPiLi, he's getting away with this. His Lings are overrun, but Roaches are popping out. Again, this was a very greedy move here out of PiLi, but I mean, it's working. So far, at least. And CatZ, he needs to punish. There's so much pressure on CatZ right now. He has to deny that third, as he is down a base. He gets us around. Bailing's rolling in. Roll in, they get us around. Queen goes down. Queen does fall. Oh. As Bailings, they try to get into the middle line, but the Roaches, they will defend. Nice start stepping here out of PiLi. He starts steps back. Does bleed out a couple of workers. But what about the counterattack? What about the Roach push? Once again, CatZ just being active, trying to keep the Roaches back at home. Am I crazy? I could be mistaken. Maybe some of the other Brood War aficionados can correct me. Am I crazy in thinking that there was like a wall here? Like, in my memory, I feel like this center lane was a little more prominent on Blue Storm back in Brood War, right? Am I crazy? I actually want to double check. I'm curious about the VODs. But yeah, like I don't remember these areas towards the left and right hand side being as open as they are. But I could just have a bad memory. As PiLi does almost get this around. PiLi pulling away. Likewise denies the Banelings. How many roaches do we have? It's going to be 9 to 8. Very, very close army supplies here. Spine Crawler coming into play. Queen gets shut down. Banelings are morphing in. Do they finish up? Oh, it's going to be close. The Banelings. Yeah, they will finish. They will finish up just in time. They shut down the Lings. Roaches move in. At the same time, Lings are coming from behind. Boys are being pulled. And CatZ does have the defender's advantage. Yeah, CatZ will defend. He will barely hold on here. He shuts down the roaches, shuts down the army, and gets away with his third. PiLi, he does get into the mineral line, getting 5 drones. 6 more workers go down. CatZ is moving out. So CatZ does move out. Behind this, he has a better economy. He has a higher drone count. He does fully wall off that center location. He's got his third base up and running as well. He has more larva. CatZ has momentum. PiLi trying to slow the game down. Slow the game down. Building up. I'll look it up after this series, actually. Blue Storm. So now we are massing. Likewise, PiLi just now getting to his own lair, so a much later lair here for PiLi. Oh! Nice catch on the Overlord. That's getting supply blocked. Behind this is no major upgrade advantage outside of roach speed. Roach speed is halfway done for CatZ. Again, he has a faster lair. So I do still give the edge to CatZ. Right now the pressure's on PiLiPiLi. As he is re-droning, he's trying to saturate. Catching out more overlords. Oh, 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 can he get it? Can he get it? Oh, he can. Another overlord. CatZ being like, este pinche Zerg maze. I just want a macro. Just want to make roaches. Meanwhile, PiLi, because he's behind, it looks like he's going mainly Ling Ravager. These roaches, they should morph into Ravagers, and his goal as he hunts out another overlord is to surround and lock down CatZ. That's where the Banelings come into play. The Banelings will protect the roaches to avoid any kind of surround. CatZ is hoping to overwhelm with just sheer roaches. Moving on out. Likewise, PiLi going for a massive counterattack. He does avoid the main army. Hits the third base. No Banelings to defend. At the same time, PiLi, he does abandon his own third. CatZ moving in, going for the kill. Avoids the piles. Breaking through the main army. Again, CatZ does have the higher roach counts. Across the map, he will lose the expansion though. But it may not matter. Oh my god. Does take the blast to the face. Roaches do overwhelm. From here, PiLi, he can go straight for the natural, but alas, he's getting caught up. He's getting caught up at the third. Another queen falls. PiLi, the boys are being pulled. Roaches are reinforcing. CatZ will eventually defend. And he's now in the main. Now the final bastion here of PiLi. Yeah, boys are being pulled, but these roaches, they should never be dealt with. Cassius has far too much. Across the map, he will lose that natural, but nowhere near as quickly. I say that. We have reinforcing roaches from Pili. Okay. Do I believe? Do we believe that? Oh, we got another roach. Yeah, bleeds out another. CatZ does kite back well. Well enough. They should still overwhelm. Likewise, things get into the mineral line. More drones going to be going down. Cat's moving in. Again, he's got 11 roaches here. Even with these reinforcements, even with the boys. No shot. Oh. As miles they connect. Meanwhile, CatZ, he will lose every drone. Every drone goes down. I had just assumed that these reinforcements would be enough, but no, CatZ, I mean, he's running out. He has no more reinforcements, he has no more economy. CatZ gets surrounded, but he will clean up every single drone. And 0 drones left on the map. GG gets called, CatZ will overwhelm, and CatZ, he will take game number 5. Does fight back, and the end scoreline will be 3-2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to PiLiPiLi as he will claim the series, but a shout out to CatZ for fighting back and for making a series out of it. Do appreciate it. Oh, do appreciate. GG, well played, as again Pili, he will claim it, but again a nice fun back and forth. Again, not the most. Oh. Nice fun, nice fun back and forth. Again, more of a fun show match here, and a shout out to Dave Tesla. Dave Tesla, he did facilitate for the show match. I believe called it the Kirktown Ready Room number 2. So great to feature these two players once again. GG. GG, well played. Hold on, I'm looking at Blue Storm. And yeah, I'm not crazy. Let's go. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Where am I? Hold on. So, coming back in. Actually, you know what? Coming back into Blue Storm. Let's do this. God, I was losing my mind. I was curious if they had changed. I was curious if they had changed Blue Storm. Oh, good. Should slow that down. One moment here. So I was curious if they changed Blue Storm. So for those that are curious, Blue Storm, this was a map that was featured in the Brood War Remastered initial Star League of SSL. And in my recollection, my memory, I remember this center location being more prominent. And I remember it being more difficult to branch out into the other fringe areas of the map. Did Effort and Hero play on Blue Storm? They didn't. Were these best of ones? God. Okay, hold on. And in Brood War. Nah, it does look. I think these are meant to be ramps. I'm looking at the sprite. I'm looking at the Brood War sprite. God, I'm just trying to find old VODs. But I think this is correct. What we're seeing here. When do they play on Blue Storm? I have Shaq versus Pretty. Show me Blue Storm. Let's see, Light versus Rain. They're not playing on Blue Storm, so I'm like sifting through VODs. Next time. But yeah, I think in my memory, I'm like mixing together 2 different maps. Probably. But regardless, GG. It was really cool to see, and I look forward to seeing more of Blue Storm, to be honest. I'm assuming that it will eventually be like ported over and applied into StarCraft Evolution League. So I look forward to it. I do look forward to it. Well, crazy. That's what a crazy person would say. True, true. But yeah, you can see it here. Hold on. Bam. But yeah, really cool to see once again. The memories, the memories. That was a fun fact. That was the I think that was the first real time that I was actually actively watching Brood War. Was that first season? I was like back in 2016.